Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Xochitl. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all of my videos, especially because 'tis the season for new makeup products. The new drugstore makeup releases are here, and I have my first one, and I'm so excited. So, available on Amazon. Hopefully you guys can still get your hands on it. If not, it should be trickling into the drugstore soon. Is the new Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation. So Maybelline has been really getting these dream foundations out. So previously, and I'll link these down below, I did a review of the Dream Satin Liquid Foundation, and then even earlier this summer they came out with the Dream Urban Cover, which is like my obsession. So I'm going to link those videos down below in the description box. Check that out if you want to see these. So obviously this one's definitely more satin. This one, the Dream Urban Cover, has a more luminous type of a base. I think both are great for dry skin. I would say the satin is a great option for everybody. This came out last winter, and now I'm super excited. I have dry skin, so you know. Dream Radiant Liquid, it says this is supposed to be a hydrating foundation. So it's supposed to give up to 12 hours of continuous hydration. It visibly improves the look of skin. Medium coverage with radiant finish. It doesn't clog pores. Dermatologists attested. So let's see. All right, so it comes with a pump, which thank you. On Amazon, this was $10.99, so expect that price maybe at like Walgreens and stuff like that, but you might save like $1 or $2 if you get this at Target or a Walmart, of course. So I love that it comes with a pump, especially if you're gonna charge me more than $10. It's 2019, let's get with it. Medium coverage, which I would say the Dream Urban Cover is definitely like a medium, it's like full coverage. So let's see what the difference is gonna be actually. So this is supposed to be hydrating, which is great for dry skin. I've already prepped my skin before I get too excited. What I'm going to do is one side of my face, I'm going to use my L'Oreal Glow Lock Infallible Primer. And the other side, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer just to see if there's a difference. And then I also want to use a brush and a sponge just to see the application. Because I do know, specifically with the Dream Urban Cover, I actually really do like it with a brush. Like I love it even more. It's good with a sponge and a brush, but I prefer it with the brush. I think the satin foundation, I definitely prefer it with a sponge. So let's see. And especially if, you know, maybe it'll bring out the more medium coverage with a brush. I'm gonna go in on this side of my face. Let's remember which side is which. Right side is Glow Lock. Oh, and I still need to get a new one. Hydration. Hydration Central. It is about in the 30s now here in Chicago, so hydration is going to be needed, and I'm so glad 2019 we have yet another hydrating foundation. I feel like 2019 has been the year for hydrating foundation, so I'm glad it's another drugstore hydrating foundation. So I'm just gonna let that sink in a little bit. Okay, now that the primer has kind of sunk into the skin a bit, I'm gonna go on this side of my face with the Poreless Putty Primer and a sponge, and let's see what's up. Let's see. I picked up mine in the shade number 50 Creamy Natural just because I'm in between that tan and not tan, and this still looks kind of light, so don't worry. And I'm glad I did not go a little bit lighter, but no, this should be good. Number 50. Also, yeah, something that I hate, the numbering for this, because I have number 35 in the satin liquid, and I know that was a little bit too light, so I went to 50. But I feel like I found my perfect summer shade in the Dream Urban Cover, but these are like in the hundreds numbering. So I'm like, if it's going to be the same line, if it's going to be the same brand, once I figured out my color, can you please just, you know, have the same numbering system? Okay. The sponge that I'm using is the Flower Beauty sponge. And right off the bat, that blends out really nicely. It's already kind of covering and evening out my skin tone. I'm interested to see how the brush will cover. I would say it's a little bit more, it feels lighter with the sponge. But then also with more hydrating foundations, I do recommend maybe trying a brush. I feel like that really brings out its full coverage. So this is one layer with a sponge. I think it's okay. It feels more light coverage. I can still kind of see that redness peeking through. Just more light coverage. Still a little bit better than all this action. A little bit better. A little bit better. I would say with the sponge is definitely more light coverage. Let's check this side out with a brush. And the brush that I'm going to use, this is just my Sephora number 56 Pro Flawless Finish. I would have used my Wet n Wild one, but I just used that yesterday, so let's see. But I love this one as well. Oh, yeah. I've got all these little guys poking. I would say, yeah, definitely a little bit more coverage with the brush than with the sponge, but still it doesn't feel like full on a medium. With the brush, it still feels like a light medium coverage, but definitely more. I can still see this little redness peeking through on the beauty blender or the sponge side, as opposed to I feel like it's a little bit more covered. Definitely covered way more of the redness with the brush. And it blends out really nicely with the brush, which especially for my skin hydration or dry skin with a hydrating foundation, it usually just blends out way better. So I'm going to finish up with a sponge just to even out. But this is one layer. The color match was pretty good with the second layer. And I'm just going to finish that off with a brush. And I'm really interested to see what primer is going to work best. Just patting that in. Oh yeah, much better with 2 layers. For my preference, coverage-wise. But it still doesn't feel like too heavy or too cakey with like 2. And I'm gonna do a full-on tutorial because I've actually got to run. So you can see, because it is so hydrating, it already looks a little bit more luminous on my skin, my dry skin. But not as luminous and not as like dewy as the Dream Urban Cover, but definitely way more hydrating than the Dream Satin Liquid. Not as dewy as the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth though. It's a nice natural finish. Yeah, I would say now we're down to like more of a medium coverage. Covering those imperfections. You can still kind of see that texture. Oh, I'm breaking out down there. We'll see if the little redness peeks through, but for the most part, yeah, definitely need 2 layers, I feel like, to get that medium coverage. It's not off the bat medium coverage. I'm gonna put the rest of my face together real quick and we'll see how we look. All right, so we've finished. We sprayed our face with some Max Fix Plus and some Melania Make It Last setting spray, because that's how I do. That's how I survive in the winter with my dry skin. But after that, I am really liking the finish. It's giving me more the Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating Foundation finish vibes, that type of finish, which is very natural. So for the dry skin, it gives you like that beautiful natural glow. So I like this so far for a very everyday foundation. I love it. Definitely like this side with the Poreless Putty Primer, because of course it's just hiding the pores just a little bit more. Yeah, I think I actually do like it a little bit better with the Poreless Putty for that purpose. It just makes me look a little bit more smooth. The bronzer went on really nicely, so let's see how it lasts on the face. I'll link everything down below that I did. But it's Lazy Sunday, Simple Sunday, so no lashes, just keeping it real today. And I would check back in with you guys. It's about 11:45 a.m. I know, late start, Lazy Sunday. But we will do some check-ins and see how it's wearing. Hey guys, so it is about 6:37 p.m. So almost 7 hours that I've been wearing this foundation. And sorry I haven't been able to do some in-between check-ins. It turned out to be a busy day, and I was going to do a check-in, but then I was like, oh, I'll just do it after. And then it got really dark outside. So I kind of wanted you guys to see, you know, in good lighting, how the foundation's doing. So we'll still keep this on a little bit longer, probably around like the 9:30, almost 10 o'clock, just because of my bedtime. I got to get up early tomorrow. But just just want to see how we're doing on the foundation. I haven't reapplied, I haven't touched up. I will definitely say I think it's looking still pretty good for like 7 hours in general. Like my face doesn't look dry. I like how it's holding up on my nose area, which is very telling, especially for me with dry skin. I feel like foundations sometimes, if they're no good, they won't hold up because my nose tends to get really dry. And even today when I wash my face, I try to like prep as well as possible, but it's definitely getting drier. I need to keep up with it for sure. I need to incorporate an oil into my skincare routine now, like a really rich one, just because, yeah, my skin's getting really dry. But even with that, like we're still looking pretty good. Like I like how I can still see like that luminosity. It doesn't look dry, but it looks just very natural. I am favoring this side of my face a little bit, just a little bit more over the side that I did the L'Oreal Glow Lock Primer. So comparing the primers, the L'Oreal Glow Lock Primer I think is nice. But surprisingly, I like the way that it's wearing on the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, especially just the pore area in general. Just looks smoother and maybe even a little bit more like luminous around this area as well. My bronzer is still like holding up pretty well on top of the foundation, and honestly I feel like it could have like looked even better, but it's around that time I am a hairy lady around this area, so I feel like I could see the little pelitos. I kind of mess with how my bronzer goes on, so I feel like I need to do a little bit of removal of the facial hair, and I feel like this would have gone on even smoother. So I feel like that's what's really kind of messing with my bronzer, the way that it went on. But the fact that I can still kind of see the coloring there is really good. Also, I did cover some imperfections, some blemishes, but like the foundation, like while you can still kind of see the texture, like it hasn't uncovered from on top of there. Like you can't see the redness really poking through after 7 hours. And even my nose, you would probably be able to see it like faded off, but we're still doing really good for like 7 hours. Like I'm pretty impressed, and I actually want to compare the ingredients in this Maybelline Dream Radiant Satin Liquid Foundation to like the Fenty Beauty, the Pro Filter Hydrating Foundation. These are both supposed to be hydrating, and I feel like this one kind of reminds me of those vibes, whereas though the Fenty, I would say right off the bat, it probably just has better coverage right off the bat, but this one, like to build it to it, this is like, it's still really good. This is like the vibes I'm kind of getting. If I had to compare this to a high-end foundation, I think I would compare it to the Fenty, but 7 hours, we're still feeling good, we're still looking good, but also most importantly, it doesn't feel heavy. I added 2 layers, and I remember I was driving on our way, like after I put the foundation on our way out, I forgot to mention, I was like, this feels very lightweight, does not feel heavy, which is great. I almost forgot I was wearing foundation or something on my face, so also take that into account. So gonna wear this for a couple more hours, and we'll see the finished results after like 9-10 hour wear. Hey guys, so it is almost pretty close to like 10 o'clock. It's like 9:30ish, and your girl wants to go to sleep pretty soon because it is Sunday night, and I have to get up early to go to the gym on Monday. So I'm gonna do a 6 a.m. kind of class thing I signed up for, which I'm excited about, but also I'm already tired. But I wanted to do this check-in so I can wash my face and go to sleep and tell you guys my overall thoughts on the Maybelline Radiant Liquid Foundation. So I think now with this check-in, wearing it close to about 10 hours or so, I think it held up pretty nicely for the 10 hours. Like it's definitely kind of sort of fading in certain areas, but like faded very gracefully. Every foundation is gonna fade eventually, I feel like, but this is a type of like fading and wearing off throughout the day that I like the fact that like my nose, especially my nose, is like still looking good. Usually around here it would be like completely faded on the edges, but like I would definitely see like a bunch of like the redness peeking through. Like the redness is still kind of covered too. Barely did those little blemishes like just start to peek through around that like 9 hour mark or so, but like my face, like can you kind of see like that glow from like the hydration of it, almost like border like a little bit of that luminosity, but it's like a natural luminosity kind of peeking through, which is what I want for dry skin, which is also just so very hard to achieve with any sort of foundation that's not like right off the bat like meant to be super dewy or luminous, where you kind of maybe even could borderline look greasy. Like this is just such a natural finish for my dry skin, which is very, very difficult to achieve. For those of you who have dry skin, you know what I'm talking about. Normal skin, I think this would wear like even better at this point. Like it would barely start to maybe fade off. Oily skin, I think this is maybe worth it in the winter time when your skin gets really dry. If you're definitely in a part of the US, of the country, of somewhere where it actually does get cold around this time of year. But I am pleasantly pleased, I've got to say. Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation, the fact that I want to try it again, the fact that I want to compare it a little bit more to the Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating Foundation, like that says a lot. Like I actually, yeah, I'm very pleased with these check-ins. I feel like usually my forehead gets really, really dry or like peely, but it's still looking good. It's definitely faded. That's what's gonna happen, but like I'm pleased with how it looks, how it faded. Like I want to try it again with, you know, I gotta do my facial grooming, and then I want to do it again, also not as much in a rush as I was this morning, but I feel like that will help the bronzer stay on even better. But I think my consensus, I love it with the brush. I think you're going to get better coverage like that. And also I feel like, surprisingly, I love it paired with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer the most, because it just gives your face that more like soothing, like not smoothing, because it just kind of gives your face that smoothing effect, even more so than like with a hydrating like foundation. So I really like that. So if you're dry skin, don't be afraid of that. I feel like that can kind of help you, and maybe in your really dry areas, use that more like hydrating foundation. But I think, yes, check this out. So far, like honestly, the Maybelline Dream line, I have loved their foundations for like different reasons. I love the satin one, but then they stepped it up with the Dream Urban Cover, and then they brought out this one, which I also love. I love that it comes with a pump. I think it's totally worth getting. Oily skin, it can be a hit or a miss, but maybe even worth trying in the wintertime. Dry skin, yes, especially in the wintertime, if you want an affordable foundation of, say, maybe you couldn't afford the Fenty Pro Filter foundation for like what, $36, $38 for $11, I say check this one out. And then as well as normal skin, I think you're gonna love it. Honestly, you guys can go either way, but for the wintertime, I think you're really gonna love it. And I think I'm gonna love it even more as even the weather gets warmer. It's just gonna be just so beautiful, like as beautiful. I'm gonna love it as much as my Fenty. So I know I really, really enjoy this foundation right now, and I know I feel like this is one I'm gonna pick up and keep using. Like that's how I know. When I'm just like, oh, do I have to put it on my face again? I just kind of like, definitely did not enjoy it. But I hope you guys get a chance to pick up this foundation. I ordered mine off Amazon. It was available November 15th, so it should start popping up in stores. Once again, my shade was number 50, Creamy Natural, and I think that was good when I still kind of have like that tan lingering. I think it was perfect for my skin tone, but as you can tell, we wore for a good 10 hours. I could have started earlier, but I'm already like in my PJs mode already. I was like, I'm not combing my hair. I'm not adding more lipstick. This is real life. This is how we look at the end of the day, so I hope you guys enjoy these check-in videos. I hope you enjoyed this review and demo. Comment down below what your skin type is and whether you think you're gonna pick this up or not, or if you've already tried it and what you think about it. Definitely curious to hear, and I kind of want to watch some more reviews, but I feel like not many are out. We got it on, so hopefully I can get this video up for you guys as soon as possible. So as soon as you see it in stores, you can decide whether you want to get it or not. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all of my videos, as well as the newest drugstore releases coming, because you know I'm getting my hands on them as soon as I can. Stay tuned, keep up, and I hope you enjoy these videos. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.